All right, let's talk about something really foundational today. We're diving into personal transformation, but we're starting with a simple, powerful truth. You just can't fix what you can't see. We're going to unpack why real, meaningful change always starts with awareness. Have you ever felt that? It's this super common frustration, right? You set these big goals, you make resolutions, you try with all your might to change a habit, and then somehow you find yourself right back where you started. So, why is that? Why is it so tough? Well, let's get right into it. The reason it feels like such an uphill battle is that honestly, most of us are starting in completely the wrong place. We try to jump straight to doing something, to taking action, when the real first step, the one we always skip, is just becoming aware. And this right here, this is the perfect picture of that internal struggle. On the surface, consciously, we say things like, I just want to feel peaceful, or I want more love in my life. But then, what do our actions show? We end up feeding our stress, reacting out of fear. And that huge gap exists for one reason. We're just not seeing what's really pulling the strings. So what's causing this major disconnect? Well, it's something I like to call the autopilot trap. Let's talk about what that really is. Seriously, think about your day. A coworker says something that's maybe mild criticism, and bam, before you even know it, you feel that little sting of defensiveness. Or you're driving, someone cuts you off, and boom, that instant wave of anger just takes over. Those are our autopilot programs running. We're stuck in these unconscious loops. And because we're not even paying attention, we can't see the loop itself, let alone figure out how to step out of it. But here's the good news. There is absolutely a way out of this trap, and it all starts with one simple but incredibly powerful action. It's all about turning on the light. This is the best metaphor for it. Imagine trying to tidy up a really messy room, but it's pitch black. You'd be stumbling around, you couldn't find anything. It would be impossible, right? Awareness is literally flipping the light switch. The second you do, everything becomes clear. You can finally see what you're actually dealing with. And that really boils down to this. You can't solve a problem you pretend isn't there. You can't heal a wound if you just keep ignoring it. The very first step is just to look, to be brave enough to see it for what it is. So, what even is awareness? It's way simpler than it sounds. It's just the pause. It's that moment where you take a step back and just watch. You watch your own thoughts, your own feelings, kind of like they're just clouds drifting by in the sky. And here's the most important part. With absolutely no judgment. You're not trying to fix anything, you're not resisting, you're just observing. Okay, and this is where the magic really happens. Because that simple act of just watching without judgment, it's incredibly powerful. The healing actually starts to happen in the very act of seeing. You know, the moment you become fully aware of one of those old patterns, a thought, a reaction, an emotion, something deep inside you just shifts. It's like the pattern loses its secret power over you simply because you've dragged it out into the light. This really shows the massive change in approach. See, the old way is this constant, exhausting war with ourselves. We're always fighting our thoughts, our feelings. But the new way, the one that comes from awareness, it's not about fighting at all. It's about understanding. And from that understanding, you get compassion and then real change. And here's the ultimate payoff. When you start to operate from this place of clear-eyed awareness, you stop trying to force yourself to change. And then change just starts happening. It feels natural, almost easy, because you're not working against yourself anymore. It becomes inevitable. So let's wrap this all up into one clear, simple takeaway. No matter what you want to change, the first step you need to take is always the same. So how do you actually do this in your everyday life? It can be as simple as these 4 little steps. First, just stop. Whatever you're doing, just pause for a second. Second, breathe. Take one deep, conscious breath to bring yourself into the present moment. Third, watch. Turn your attention inward and just notice your thoughts. Don't get tangled up in them, just watch them float by. And finally, feel. Do a quick scan of your body and just notice whatever sensations are there. That's it. That's the whole practice. Look, if there is one single thing you take away from all of this, let it be this right here. Real, lasting change doesn't start with a giant to-do list. It begins with the quiet, courageous act of just seeing yourself clearly.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. In the middle of your busy day, inside all those automatic reactions and looping thoughts, what do you think you could discover about yourself if you just gave yourself one moment to stop and really truly look?